The article of the day is the 5-minute rule for trading memory for disk access and the 5-byte rule for trading memory for CPU time. The report poses the question, when does it make economic sense to make a piece of data resident in main memory, and when does it make sense to have it resident in secondary memory where it must be moved to main memory prior to reading or writing? The authors present a rule of thumb for how long a 1 KB page should be kept in memory given the cost of an extra CPU, disk, and channel to support the read. They calculate this to be about $2,000 per access per second. Main memory costs around around $5 per megabyte. Pages referenced every 5 minutes should be memory resident. That's the rule. This is based on the break-even point of a disk access every 2000 by 5, that is 400 seconds, which they approximate to 5 minutes. I'm reading the February 1986 report, which has the slightly different numbers than the May 1985 one. As the record size decreases, the break-even time increases, and conversely, for the larger records, the break-even time decreases. However, they note that at some point, the record size will be larger than the disk transfer size. That may be different now, but it's an indicator that there may be another thresholds in modern memory hierarchies. The 5-minute rule. Just stick it in memory. The authors give an example of a customer with a 500 megabyte database that they wanted to keep in main memory. An all-disk system with the same TPS could be built for $1 million less than a main memory system. They then showed that for the same number of TPS, they could determine an optimal hybrid memory per disk, that is around 1.27 million less than the main memory system, which is pretty significant saving. The 5-byte rule. What about the trade-off between memory and CPU cycles? When does it make sense to compress a bunch of data to save memory or cache some computation that might be used later? Similar to the 5-minute rule, we can determine the cost of memory and price per instruction. In the report, they use $0.001 per byte and $0.005 per instruction, creating the rule. Spend 5 bytes of main memory to save 1 instructions per second.